Hi, we're live. Welcome everybody to the show that never ends. It is the weekly Manos live show, and I have my co-host and wife Lindsay over at the other side of the room.
Hello.
And let's see, on my Twitter to make sure people see it and stuff. Let's see. I'm gonna go here. Let me mute the audio so you don't hear me in stereo. And we'll just do this here. I wish I could do this stuff like before I go live, but I don't know if there's a way to do that. Let's see. Okay, share this sucker. Okay, Twitter. Okay. And the Facebooks. Hey, what do you think will replace Facebook? Some other thing? I don't know. Okay. It'll probably be just as bad. Same thing with YouTube. Whatever replaces YouTube will probably be better in some ways, but will also suck. Let's see. We're live, bitches. There we go. And let's see. We're live. Okay, done. All right. All right, the boring part of the video is over. How are you doing today? I'm fine. I'm actually in a pretty good mood. A nice relaxing day at work. I know that sounds like crazy, but yeah, it's a pretty good day. Let's see. We've had a fun week. We've had a couple of good days off. I am keeping track of the Red Knight Kickstarter. I got a email a couple of days ago from my printer, and Aaron over with the printers said that good news, everyone. It is on the way. You should get it midweek. So for those of you watching this who are backers of the Red Knight relaunch, let's see, I should get them, middle of the week, and then immediately I should start mailing stuff. So the week after that, you should, if everything goes right, you should probably be seeing your book the week after next. And that includes all the other extras I'll be mailing out. So after that, I hope to have the issue available for the general public, and I'm aiming for if I'm able to keep this pace up, probably at the end of September, probably literally the last week in September. I don't know. Hey, how about the last day of September? Let's just do it all at the end. Let's see. The usual stuff has been going on. I tried to record a video yesterday. I made a list ranking all the MCU films from worst to best, and I got half of it done because I didn't charge the camera fully enough. So I'm charging the camera now. It should be charged now. So I'll shoot that probably tomorrow. So you can see that video a couple days from now. And I liked it a lot. I think it's really good. I don't know about you. We'll see about that. I have a anime replay coming up actually in a couple days. I already have that recorded. I need to upload it, and I'll be posting that sometime this week. So hey, I put in Joker trailer. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit, and let's see. We're going to be kind of thinking about what's going on here with the Joker trailer. The Joker trailer, of course, just dropped this past week. Very quick update. There's been a really strong review for it that got posted somewhere that had a lot of people excited about it. People are really talking about it, very favorably, which is good news. What was it, a couple of weeks ago, the producers of the film mentioned that it's not based on any previous source material, which pissed off a few fans and confused me. Not from that, the anger confused me because if anybody over the age of 25 might remember very few comic films were made based on previous existing material. That was kind of the norm. Just a few up until just a few years ago, Batman '89 is not based on any specific Batman story. Um, you can only count it as an adaptation in the loosest of terms. It's based on Batman, so we just made our own Batman movie. There's no graphic novel of Batman Returns with the Penguin running for mayor and exploding penguins. That's not based on a book. It was kind of the norm, and this one is kind of falling into that kind of like category, which makes it kind of exciting. If there's anything it looks like it's based on, it looks a lot like The King of Comedy, which is a Scorsese film. He is like a producer in the movie. So compared it to like Taxi Driver and King of Comedy, which are two movies he made. And, De Niro is in the movie. He plays a talk show host, much like Jerry Lewis played a talk show host who was kind of like the target in King of Comedy. You could even, since it takes place in the 80s, you could even legitimately believe that maybe the Joker movie doesn't take place in the DCEU. It takes place in the Scorsese verse, which is a term I just made up. It's the Scorsese verse. And I do wonder, I don't know, now I'm thinking like how many movies we could probably fit into the Scorsese's verse that could realistically be part of the same thing. Like Raging Bull and Taxi Driver and Goodfellas and Casino, After Midnight, Gangs of New York, Hugo. I'm trying to think if any of them really contradict the others. I can't really think of anything.
Because I think they're all set in like a realistic.
Yeah.
Most of the like up in New York.
Yeah. Mean Streets. What's that one? I keep forgetting the name. I keep forgetting the one he did with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jack Nicholson. That mob movie that was like 3 hours. That I've only watched a few minutes of that film, and the pace is like ridiculous. Like it's fast. It's a fast moving 3 hour film. And of course, the Wolves of Wall Street. I don't know. I mean, I guess all that could fit together. So depends on how this Joker movie goes. You could probably maybe even argue it fits into that. Are you looking it up now?
Yeah.
It's a title that never sticks with me. I can never. Departed. Departed?
Yeah.
Departed. Okay. Yeah, Departed. And thank you, Nightwing. 4077 just piped up. But Departed. Thank you. We figured it out at the same time. You mentioned it. I love it when that happens. So, we'll see how much it has in common with Scorsese movies when we see it, which is probably why so many people are talking in really glowing terms, like it being an Oscar-worthy film. Because a lot of people, a lot of comic fans are comparing it to the Dark Knight Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker, which, to be honest, is a legit comparison. I mean, he almost does look like a prequel to the Dark Knight using that specific Joker, except it takes place in the 80s. Dark Knight takes place in 2008, so that would be a few years. But I don't know. I don't believe, from what I'm hearing, from what I'm thinking, from what I'm seeing, that this film is going to be really connected to the DC Universe films from now on. I mean, although anything can happen, really. Like, if it's really popular, they might connect it. They could even do something. I mean, they could either have Joaquin Phoenix just play older in future installments, or do that 3 Joker thing that currently is going on in the comics. That would be kind of cool. Where you could actually say that the Jared Leto Joker no one likes is one of the 3 Jokers and is Harley's Joker, for instance. Because there was a interesting fan theory that people were doing, where people were saying how like one of the Robins was Jared Leto's Joker, and either it was Dick Grayson or Jason Todd. Jason Todd would have been probably a good idea. Um, where that was, he went insane and went crazy and became that version of the Joker, which that means you could probably fit the Joaquin Phoenix. I don't know. Depends. I know right now Warner Brothers is looking to be more loosely connected than they used to be. So this all is just kind of fun bullshit talk, frankly. To be honest, I don't expect this film to be connected to Aquaman. So there's really no need for it to be, which is not a bad idea, because I think what really screwed up the DCEU was trying really hard to copy Marvel. And look, that's Marvel, and you're DC. Be DC. Just be DC. That's all I can explain as my advice from a fan. Let's see, Nightwing saying, or do what they did with M in Casino Royale. Yeah, that's true. I like what they did with M, because it's like, hey, we got Judi Dench. Yeah, this isn't the same continuity, but screw that. Let's just have a new continuity Judi Dench. Yeah. I feel like sometimes we overthink things like this. Like, oh no, you can't have the same actor play this part in a different continuity. That'll confuse people. No, we have the internet. We can look shit up, and who cares? That's why I was so excited to see J.K. Simmons back as J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man movies, because who cares? It's a new version, so we really like him as that part. Let's do it. I hope they follow through and can talk Willem Dafoe back as Green Goblin. That's still that's still a very, very big goal of mine as a fan, to see that happen. Bizarro Critic Incorporated says hello. Hello, Bizarro Critic. How you doing? I'm just talking about the that Joker trailer all the kids are talking about these days. And I gotta say, I think it's Todd Phillips. Todd Phillips really does have a mature, unique vision from what I've been seeing. Like, to be honest, when I first heard about the film, I was kind of like 50-50. My attitude was like, okay, let's wait till we see a trailer where I really get a real idea. And I'll be honest, I've been kind of sold ever since that teaser, that creepy ass teaser, where we slowly pan up to him and he kind of flashes the Joker face, with that music playing. That told me these guys have an idea of what they want to do. They have a vision of what they want to do. So that's always good, especially right now with Warner Brothers and DC. A vision is a good idea. Because I think the biggest mistake they could make with this movie is being superficially dark, and that's what got them in trouble in the first place, with too many movies that look like Linkin Park fan bids. No, you have to have substance to your subject matter. Let's see. I kind of want to see DC do more of an Elseworld stories like this. Yeah, and I think if this is successful, I think we'd probably fall into that. And I like the idea of these films being kind of connected, like they can cross over if necessary, but it's not mandatory. One won't feed into the other, which I think is a good idea. And that's see, when Warner Brothers started with the DCEU films, they wanted to copy Marvel's success, but at the same time, not be Marvel. Okay, how do we distinguish ourselves from Marvel? Oh, let's be bullshit dark for no reason, and maybe not for no reason, but dark, depressingly dark for very little reason. And of course, that eventually petered out on them, and that was something I was afraid of after a couple of movies. It's like, we can't maintain this. That's eventually going to give way on them, and it did. Now they've regrouped. I still don't know where they're going. We'll see after a couple more movies, but it does look like the idea, it kind of hit let's stop copying Marvel. Let's look, continuity in the comics has always been their thing. Being kind of like choose your own continuity has been kind of our thing. So that's not a bad idea to go about and bring that into film, which is, I think, I think is really clever and really thoughtful, because that's one of the things I really like about both these movie franchises is they can bring the experience of comic books to a new audience that ordinarily wouldn't read, because they're either embarrassed to step foot in a comic book shop or they're illiterate. So let's see. Let's Dark Critic is, yeah. Dark always works. Just ask Universal. Man, did they screw up the whole shared universe idea, didn't they? Right off the bat. I mean, right off the bat. Like, I mean, say what you will about DC. It took them a couple of movies for that to kind of like start tripping them up. And not everything was terrible. I mean, there's some good with the bad, but I mean, Universal, boom, right, tripping right out of the door. And that was, once again, trying to copy Marvel, trying to follow instead of leading, which is like, guys, Universal kind of invented the shared universe thing. You should be not copying anybody. That's the pathetic part of it. And also, like the humor, they tried to copy the Marvel humor. It's like, come on, guys. When you copy, it comes across as insincere. And that's what happened. Especially when I hear stories about like how Del Toro pitched Shape of Water as his Black Lagoon movie, and holy shit, what if that was your first movie? Oh my god, that would have been a big hit, big critical success, Oscar. Yeah, that would have been a great way to stick it to Marvel, and you decided to do a crappy Tom Cruise movie. So yeah, wasn't Van Helsing the first attempt? And then took a break until Marvel. Van Helsing was, well, if I assume you're talking about the Hugh Jackman film. I think that was meant to be Van Helsing movies. I don't think it was, from what I understand, it doesn't seem to have been designed that way to launch like, a Dracula movie and a Frankenstein movie and stuff like that. I think it was meant to be, you're running through this world with Van Helsing. It was almost like, God, it was almost like a Jeff Loeb Batman book. Like you're just running into all these like fucking characters while you're like on this one storyline. That would have been. I don't know if I would have liked that, because it's such a dumb, fun action movie. I don't know if that would have been the right choice, but. I know that film has its fans. Actually, I like the movie. It's not the best movie, but I like it. You sit in front of it, I'll watch it. I do like quite a few things in it, but I don't know if that would have been like the right choice. But man, it's so frustrating. Like the Mummy was just completely wrong. And let's see what's that movie with the whole searching for ghosts and Annabelle's partners? What's that the what's that movie called?
Insidious?
No,
That's a different one.
that's a different one. Not The Haunting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bizarro Critic. Yeah, the Conjuring universe. That's like subtly and under the radar, a very successful shared universe series of films. Some are good, some are bad, but they have an audience. And like when they come out, they go, "Oh, this is part of that Conjuring." Like I think the Nun was part of that. And the Annabelle films and stuff like that. So it can be done. Let's see, Tarantino could also be a good example. Yeah, I've heard, more than my share of think pieces about how the Tarantino movies all connect, and just you have one creator kind of at the boss of it. So yeah, it is kind of easier to connect a series of films when you have a single like filmmaker kind of behind the camera. Like I mentioned, the Scorsese films and stuff like that, and I think a lot of artists think that way. Like Stephen King, for instance, and that happens a lot. You get a single person, and I'm kind of doing that because I have some other things outside of Red Knight that that could fit in there. I'm actually fighting the temptation to put my other like creations in the same universe. I haven't come down on a decision on that, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of that? Do you think that would be a bad idea to increase in the Red Knight universe?
No, I don't, that would be a bad idea.
The DeVitas?
I think that universe works a little differently.
Yeah, it does. I've been kind of, I originally kind of came up with them as an idea to be in the Red Knight universe.
I really don't think they fit.
I think the DeVita family has kind of like evolved since that original idea. But yeah, really, one of my early ideas was to do a mafia vampire family in the Red Knight books, and the Knights of the Silver Cross were actually really going to be part of it. That was almost a settled idea. And then when I started coming up with the novel, it's like, yeah, I think I'll take these Knight guys and put them in the book. But yeah, they were totally going to be like an ally of Ebenezer Trick and all that stuff. Yeah, I know. So I mean, that's the kind of thing you see with creators working on multiple projects and stuff like that. It's easy to put that in to get as a Tarantino verse or something like that. Let's see, because that attempt to do the Gunslinger movie, that was an attempt to kind of tie the Stephen King movies together, and that unfortunately did not pan out. Let's see, Nightwings is also the DCAU. Didn't start as a single shared universe when Tim and company did Superman and TAS until they started doing the final season of Batman Team. Yes, that is another. I have actually I have some of the box sets of the DCAU series, particularly the Justice League, and I've watched the commentaries, and it's kind of cool because I'm listening to Bruce Timm and company. It was the episode where in Justice League I can't remember the name, but it's the episode where it's the series season finale of the Cadmus storyline, and they're talking about how they didn't mean for all this stuff to fit together the way it did. And when they were putting together the Justice League show, specifically the Unlimited storyline and Cadmus storyline, they started looking back on their old work and like, holy crap, this shit fits together. And there were some things that were left unsaid that actually could be retrofitted into what they were doing. And I love that. And that's kind of the fun part about creating. And I've done that where I like, oh wait, I didn't forget that. I meant to do this. And that's what's really cool about this kind of thing. So yeah, it wasn't deep. It wasn't until like there were a few shows in that they realized like, hey, we have a real shared universe here. And since then, they've kind of built on that, which is a good idea. And I've seen carried over. I don't know if any of you who watch my channel watch Watchtower Database. That's a really cool YouTube channel, and the channel mostly deals with the DCAU and theory videos and continuity videos and all kinds of fun videos and commentaries. They've expanded to talk about comic books and DC comic books. And they have the channel, the creators of the channel have a fan comic on a web fan comic that continues the DCAU, the Justice League. Yeah, check out Watchtower Database here on YouTube, and you'll be able to find the link if you hit the channel and look at their various links and stuff like that. I keep forgetting. They just released a few weeks ago a new issue. I wanted to review that. It's on my to-do list for videos. Nightwing, do you consider the new Batman Adventures as a final season of Batman Tia or consider it? Yes, I do consider it. I know some people like to separate it. I don't know why. There's some things here and there that may seem a little not 100% connecting well, but it mostly does, and I don't see any reason why you can't consider it as the final season of Batman the Animated Series. Let's see. It's so weird. A lot of people forget, like, the first season of the Batman premiered at the same time they were just finishing up Justice League Unlimited. So we had like we had continuity, different Batmans running around on TV on the same. That's crazy. Which is the second time that happened? That happened in the 70s as a kid. Filmation had The New Adventures of Batman, which is terrible. And Batman was also on Super Friends, which is also terrible. So we had two different really bad Batmans running around at the same time. Same thing with Justice League and JLU, yeah. But yeah, I do Watchtower Database. They put a lot more effort in their videos than me. It's really impressive. And also, their comic is really strong. I did a review of their comics with Ian over at Geeky Gentleman, Sid Part 2. I reviewed their books, and yeah, I'm going to talk about either newest issue, maybe I'll pull, because I really dig their books. Let's see, where are we going here? I'm trying to think if anything else interesting came out this week. Because we had such an explosion of like crazy ass stories left and right with geeky stuff. And I don't know, I feel like we've had kind of a slowdown. Have you heard anything interesting come up this week?
Not really.
Yeah. It's been a little slower. Although I will say, oh yeah, Star Wars, Dark Crystal. Oh yeah. Dark Crystal's on
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
yeah. I haven't seen Dark Crystal since I was a kid.
DVD.
Yeah, and I think it's also on. I think it's also on Netflix
Yeah,
too.
it is.
Because Netflix aren't dummies. Like, hey, we're gonna do a new Dark Crystal. We should have the old one on there.
Mm-hmm. But I had the DVD.
Yeah, haven't had a chance to see it, but I've been hearing some good things about it. I don't know if you've been paying too close attention to it. Let's see, just finished season 1. It's great. Oh, is it a TV series? It's not a movie or
No,
anything?
it's not a movie. It's a series.
Great. I assume. Oh, okay. I haven't been paying too strongly, so I just assumed it was a new movie.
No.
Okay, that's cool. And is it digital effects or is it Muppets again? I shouldn't say Muppets, but
I think it's live action. It's Muppet.
okay, cool.
Pretty sure.
Let's see. Nightwing mentions Star Wars. What's going on with Star Wars? Anything? I figured the Mandalorian was the last bit of news that came out. Well, according to Bob, and World According to Bob. Hey, the World According to Bob. How you doing? Let's see. Bizarro Critic says puppets with some CG, which I think is probably a realistic way to go. Look, if you can do puppets in CG, go ahead. Just don't forget the puppets. Actually, shit, like MST3K is almost like puppets with CG. Because they use a lot of little CG on that show. I don't know. Let's see. Nightwing mentioned Star Wars. I don't know if anything news popped up in the last few days outside of are you talking about the sneak peek? Thank you, the sneak peek. I don't think I showed you the sneak peek, did I? I know you've seen the shot of Ray, but I don't know if I've shown you the whole sneak peek.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's not exactly a trailer. It's like one of those like self-congratulatory things Star Wars does every few years about how awesome they are and how historically important. And then it cuts to some new footage of the new film that we haven't seen yet, with Rey and Kylo fighting on that really beautiful shot of like the ocean behind them on what maybe looks like remnants of a Death Star. And then, of course, we get that cool ass shot with her and the switchblade staff lightsaber, which looks dark and shit like that. I probably should mention it. Yeah, thank you, Nightwing, for bringing that up. I totally forgot. I thought that was last week. I forgot I talked about Mandalorians, not this. So yeah, we can talk a little bit about the sneak peek. The Emperor voiceover too. Yeah, I'm very curious to see how the Emperor plays into this. Okay, I guess I should start with the elephant in the room, and Dark Ray, which I love saying that. I know a lot of people since episode 7 has been talking about this idea of Ray turning to the dark side and Kylo returning to the light, which admittedly would be cool, but I'll be honest, I don't think I want to see that. So I don't think, look, there's no way in hell they're going to show us that in the it's not even a trailer, it's a preview. There is no way they would have blown that in the sneak preview. So I think that I'm one of those people who thinks that's either a vision or some other, maybe like a clone Ray or or something else, some other fake out or something like that. I am now convinced she isn't turning to the dark side when I see that. What is the answer to that? Like, what is her does she have a connection to the Emperor? And I don't think what they're doing is going to contradict what they did in Last Jedi. I think Last Jedi gave us clues, and I think we're going to get the full answers here. Let's see. The rumors sound like the original ending of Return of the Jedi, where Luke became the new. Yeah, that's right. God, it's easy to forget that stuff, isn't it? I've been thinking of this, and I don't know how. I mean, I might be blowing smoke on my own ass, but I've been wondering, since this new series has been coming up with this idea of maybe the Force should be something shared among people who aren't the Jedi and the Sith. I've been thinking about this whole turning to the dark side and giving into your emotions once, and you join the dark side, which is kind of bullshit because Jedi have emotions all the time. They're not like Vulcans or something like that. Like Obi-Wan didn't chop Darth Maul in half out of love or just being completely impassionate about it. No, he was angry and he didn't turn to the dark side. I have this feeling that Rey is probably going to choose neither. And I think that alone, that idea that you can be both emotional and good and make your own choices, and you don't have to give in instantly and turn to the dark side. I think that is what kind of choice Rey is going to make. I don't know if Rey is maybe another creation of the Emperor, like Anakin was. Let's see, Bendy Rey, yeah. Let's see, accidentally with that ending of the sneak peek is a vision. Yeah, I really do believe that's a vision. But I have this, because here's the thing, One of the things I really liked about one of the reveals on in Last Jedi was that her parents were nobodies. They were just regular people. They weren't like Kenobis or Skywalkers or some shit like that. They were just a couple of assholes that had a kid and didn't want them, so they dropped her off on a planet to die like a couple of assholes. Um, and she was able to still make something out of herself. I think that's a great. Who's to say they aren't her like natural parents? Like maybe they adopted her very early on, and she was some sort of like creation from the emperor as well. Which could there's a few. We won't know until the series is over what that cool ass mirror image idea, what that was telling us. I really won't know. I mean, I don't feel like I will know until the end of the next movie. Um, like, does it mean that, she was born out of nothing like Anakin? Is she like one of clones? I don't know. We'll see that. But and then here's the thing, like I try not to get too wrapped up in my own. I'll have my own feelings about something like this, but I try not to get too invested to the point where drive myself crazy about it or make 1,000 videos about it or get mad when they don't do what I want them to do. By the way, that is one of my current least favorite things about fans is when you come up with a theory and the real people making the thing don't do what you think they should do and you get pissed at them. That is really gross fan behavior. That is really entitled whiny crap, and I do not like it. It can be cool to go, oh man, it would have been cool if you'd done that thing I thought of, but I mean, look, it's theirs to do it's their creation. Let's see. I always thought the mirror image scene in Last Jedi was the show that she had no special leverage and that she is her own person. I could be wrong. No, you could be right. That is actually one. I think that might have been the first thing I thought of when I saw that. I know that was an early discussion on what that meant. That could still be true. Like I said, we won't know until these movies are over, until we know the full ramifications of what that image means, which I think is really provocative. That's one of the things I find so exciting about some of the things that are being discussed in this story, the sequel trilogy. And it's actually probably, I don't know, that might be one of the more memorable images from these three films that people kind of take away. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, you could still be right. Because I agree. I've thought about that too. So yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get a redemption for Kylo. If we do, I hope it's not the exact same thing that Anakin went through, where like, oh, I'm kind of watching you kill my son there, and I kind of last second change your heart. By the way, I don't know if I like the whole Jedi afterlife thing where you could be a fucking Nazi for all your life and then you change at the last second on your deathbed and you just be in Jedi heaven.
That's Catholicism.
That's
some Christianity. You confess and you repent at the last minute and you get into heaven.
I don't know if that's fair.
Why do you think I stopped going to church?
Yeah. Let's see. I kind of went. Bizarre Critic says I kind of went. Kind of want to stay bad. Me too. I feel that's more. I feel it's more interesting that way. And this series needs, while it shares like a lot of thematic beats of the first two trilogies, and it should. It's so far done a pretty good job of standing out on its own by zigging instead of zagging. And that would be one of them. I would really like that. Which do you like better, Force Awakens or Last Jedi? I actually was thinking about that a couple hours ago when I was at work, really bored. And the moment, I consider, I don't know, every once in a while I rank the Star Wars films, and mostly New Hope is my favorite, and it's just an emotional favorite. I saw it as a kid, and it was the first film. It was just Star Wars forever. So that'll probably be permanently wedged in number one. And number two, I don't know. It's just I go back and forth between Last Jedi and Force Awakens, and I keep. It's one of those things where I feel like objectively, Last Jedi is better than Force Awakens, and it might even be the best Star Wars film, at least on par with like uh, Empire Strikes Back. Those are objectively the two best. But then there's subjective, and I don't know. I'm just a sucker for like optimistic, changing. The bad bullshit. And, lone heroes. Shows up and like rallies the troops. God, I'm a sucker for that every time. And like there's a good kind of nostalgia quality to that. Let's see. Bizarre Critic agrees and says Empire though will always be number one to me. And yeah, I mean that's a great movie. And I don't know, that's probably my fourth favorite. So it just goes back and forth. They're mostly great films. So yeah, I don't know. It's almost a coin flip. I guess my emotional choice is Force Awakens. But I gotta tell you, like, there's some emotional payoffs in Last Jedi, which almost makes it hard to just casually rewatch the film right now. I mean, I can't just sit down and go, okay, let me just watch Last Jedi for a few minutes. Like, no, I get really invested and sucked into that film. So I don't know. It's just one of those. It's like one of the like bigger, stronger, like I don't know. You just can't casually watch, something big like that. I guess hope that's an answer. Let's see. On the topic of Marvel out of the Marvel shows on Disney Plus, which are you looking forward to? Ms. Marvel and She-Hulk and Moon Knight seems cool, but man, I don't know if I'm more excited about Ms. Marvel or She-Hulk. Because look, I've been a fan of She-Hulk forever, and I've been waiting for a She-Hulk thing in the MCU since 2008 when they brought back Hulk. I was like, oh, cool, we're going to see She-Hulk. I'm like, oh, okay, great, we'll do Thor. All right, no, okay, Guardians of the Galaxy, fine. Ant-Man, okay. We're going to do She-Hulk, right? Big She-Hulk fan. She-Hulk is literally my third favorite Marvel character. And probably Miss Marvel is maybe my fourth favorite Marvel character. And I'm also really excited for both. And I got really excited, stupid excited when I heard that Miss Marvel will be appearing in the films. And I assume that'll be the same case for She-Hulk and also for Moon Knight. Because, like, I've been reading Miss Marvel for a few years, and Miss Marvel definitely, I have really grown. I mean, I quickly grew to love that character, and after a few issues, I realized, like, holy shit, this feels a lot like the Lee Ditko era of Spider-Man. That kind of like feeling, that kind of awkward, weird superhero feeling where it's not, it's not like, your typical like, Jim Lee, Batman story or X-Men or something like that. It had this kind of quirkiness to it that the old like Stanley Ditko Spider-Man had, and that kind of really, once I kind of made that connection, it really kind of sucked me in. And She-Hulk, She-Hulk is just my favorite. I just love that character, and I can't wait. I'm hoping they kind of do something along the lines of the Dan Slott years. The Charles Soule is criminally underrated series. That was really good. Peter David did a pretty decent run too. And, fan of I'm mixed on John Byrne's years because he gave a lot to the character in like Fantastic Four, but I hate fourth wall breaking humor. I do not like it, and I'm glad she doesn't do that anymore. And even referencing it every once in a while is fine, but I'm glad that's not a rule of thumb for her. So I'm kind of excited to see her come into the MCU. There's also this awesome, I'll talk about this until the end of time. There's this great short story Chris Claremont did, and I can't remember where we can find it. I think it's collected in a She-Hulk trade, where it's like it's like half an issue of her trying to try a case on the Supreme Court, and she keeps getting interrupted by one of her supervillains, and she has to like stop every few minutes to like beat her up and go back to work. And the cops are going, "Okay, we got her from here," and then they lose her, and she has to come right back out. And that's an awesome story. I would love to see that kind of tone done, and it's believable because it kind of fits in with the MCU style of humor. It always cracks me up when people go, "Oh man, the MCU is just jokes." Like, have you read any Marvel books? There's a lot of humor. And I've been thinking about, the Marvel Comics humor in there always, and that a lot of that came out of Stan Lee. Stan Lee is kind of a smart ass, and he enjoyed doing that kind of thing in comics. And I've been thinking recently about the humor in modern Marvel comics versus classic Marvel comics, and I've been thinking about like what's the difference? Because I used to remember as a kid not laughing at the jokes even when I got them, and I now generally laugh at a lot of like stupid jokes in Marvel comics now, and I've been able to figure out the difference. And the difference, I'd say, pre-90s Marvel, or maybe somewhere during the 90s, this changed. Definitely before 2000s. The humor in a lot of old Marvel books is dad jokes, very, very dad jokes. And that, of course, I think came from Stan Lee and then influenced by Stan Lee. And let's see, like I remember like old Spider-Man comics where Spider-Man is just quoting Saturday Night Live catchphrases. Like, that's not jokes. It's barely references. And like in a Ghost Rider comic, like a villain kills two guys who look like the Honeymooner characters. Like, it's barely a joke too. And then since the coming of Bendis, like the humor is a more smart-assy, and it's definitely more kind of like self-aware. So I don't know. I think we're better off, really. But there's a lot of like old She-Hulk stuff that, let's see, a lot of the John Byrne stuff is kind of dad jokey. And then after that, especially the Dan Slott years, the Dan Slott stuff, the Chris Claremont stuff, the Peter David stuff. Peter David, I think, was also a big change because he's a funny writer, and a lot of his humor came out of dialogue. So I think he was very key and to the change. Let's see, where are we here? Nightwing. If Jedi becomes one with Force, do they really just evolve to a higher plane of existence and are dead? Just like overthinking shit. No, it's fine. There's some stuff that I've never been quite clear on, like because like Obi-Wan, he just kind of wished himself gone. Like he vanished. Like, did he die? Did his body just evaporate? He become a ghost? Because like, Qui-Gon, when he got killed, his body was still laying there like a piece of shit, like anybody. And Darth Vader vanished and Yoda vanished. So I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know. There's almost an open to interpretation. Blah blah blah. Let's see. The Other World, according to Bob. Forgive me if anyone else has asked this, but are you going to watch the Steven Universe movie? There's a Steven Universe movie coming out? Oh, why didn't anybody tell me this? Of course. And I can't wait. I can't believe it's only a couple of days. I'm really excited. Like, this seemed like just something they said at a convention, like, "Ooh, hey, a Steven Universe movie might exist." That's all we'll tell you. And that was that for a good long while. So I can't believe we're finally a couple of days away. I'm very excited. I'm not going to do any like reaction videos or anything like that where I watch it. I'm just going to watch it and enjoy it, and I'll do a review soon afterwards. I actually have a Steveolution video I recorded with Deadpoolzilla that I still have not been able to edit correctly. And my apologies to Deadpoolzilla. I recorded like a month or two ago where we talk about our favorite fusions. Once I get that figured out, how to edit that properly, that's coming. But I'll definitely be doing a review of Steven Universe movie. You can probably expect that this week. Like, I don't know how soon after. I don't know if I'll post it the night of or maybe the day after. But yeah, I'm going to go all in talking about this movie. Let's see. It won't show in Canada for a few weeks. That sucks. Because it's not like the internet in Canada is different and you can avoid spoilers. I apologize. Be very careful. Maybe avoid Steven Universe topics if you can. I would. That would be a good idea. Bizarro Critic says, reminds me of the G1 Transformers movie, and I love it. Me too. I've been thinking of the G1 movie. I hope that doesn't mean everyone dies in the first 20 minutes, like Transformers the movie, but I'm hoping it'll be a game changer for the rest of the series. Like, okay, that was the old status quo in the old story. This movie fucks everything up, and this is going to be the story for the rest of the series, whether it be one season or 2 seasons. That's what I'm hoping. We'll see what evil Harley Quinn XJ9 does. So I can't wait. Let's see. Do you think let's see. Bob says, do you think that will end the show? Well, no, I know we have another season. We at least have one more season of the show. I know Cartoon Network so far views Steven Universe as one of its more successful properties, so they definitely would probably be interested in keeping it going. But that'll depend on Rebecca Sugar. Like, if she's like has one more season in her. So far I've heard just one more, but I mean, we could have another season. Anthony Gucci. Hey, Anthony Gucci. Let's see. Good to know. Yeah, because Bob, because I'm such an obsessive dork. I've been following like the creators and voice actors on that show, and once a week they like post like pictures on Twitter or on their Instagrams that, oh, hey, we were recording, hey, hanging out with, Michaela this week, and shit like that. So considering I know the show takes a year to like produce these episodes, if they're just recently recording, then that means that they're still producing the series. There's at least one more season. How many seasons is kind of up in the air right now? Is it season 6 and that'll be end, or season 7 and that'll be end? Who knows? Or if Cartoon Network just wants to keep going with the show without Rebecca Sugar, we'll see. Let's see. Let's see. Just wanted to watch it legal and Rebel Crystal Gems, watching online. I have, thankfully I'm off at night, so we can just sit down and relax and watch it. Let's see. I don't know. I have like not Skype. Slack. Sling. We have Sling and Hulu, and I don't know if Sling will show the movie. I assume maybe they'll show the movie. What's cool about Sling is there's several channels on Sling that you can watch And what's cool is if you miss it, you can check it out maybe next day on Sling. Depends how quick they update it.
We'll definitely be able to watch it live.
Yeah, thank God we can watch it live. I'd rather watch it live, frankly. So I don't know. Season 5 still hasn't showed up on Hulu. I don't know what's going on there. I would like new aliens for season 6, and I would dig that too. I would be really cool with some new villains. I think that we'll probably have gem characters throughout the series. I would be curious to see them fight other threats. I mean, that was what was so cool about the OKKO crossover. So we got to see Garnet fight something that wasn't a gem. That was really neat. But I don't think that's going to happen. I would like to. Since we've jumped 2 years, we have kind of the awkward, change from the gems waking up to like colonizing kind of the area around each city. So I don't know. I was kind of. It doesn't look like we're going in this direction, but I was curious. It would have been cool to do a story where not all those gems that were turned into monsters were on their side. Some of them were like homeworld gems fighting them, and that would have been an interesting idea if a season would have been Steven trying to halt a civil war where tensions were mounting and stuff like that. That would have been a cool idea, because hey, maybe there's also crystal gems that were on their side. We're going, wait, I was gone for like a few thousand years because of this bullshit? Fuck this. That would have been an interesting, plot line, but I don't think that's where they're going. So maybe that's something you can do in comics and stuff. Let's see. He says gems as AIs. Gems as AIs. Yeah, I mean, there's actually an argument I've seen that gems are a form of AI or some form of, I don't want to say robot, but, that kind of like, life form or something like that, where they're not naturally born. They've been kind of artificially created. They're mineral instead of, robotic or biological. Let's see. Bizarre Critic says, pretty sure diamonds can't just say, we're sorry to the worlds they've colonized. That I'd like to see too. That's something I'd definitely like to see. It's like, that's got to be a messy fix. All right. Hey, it's so I'm going to have to call it quits. I want to thank everyone who showed up and asked questions. You've been great. You've been a great audience. I hope I'll be here all week. I want to thank my lovely wife, Lindsay.
You're welcome.
For sitting in the back and answering my questions occasionally. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Lindsay also has a channel too where she's starting to post videos. Go watch her videos. She makes stuff. And I think that's it. You can also support this channel on Patreon for just $1 a month. And don't forget, Red Knight is coming out probably at the end of September. So I'll see you guys there, and we'll be talking next week. Good night, folks.